Double tap if you can relate. Corn sweat? Really? I grew up in Illinois. I live in Indiana now. I have never before this year heard the term corn sweat. Is this a Mandela effect or something? Let me know.
No, it's not. It's a real thing that we've known about and been talking about for years. I've been talking about corn sweat on social media for years. I'm going to show you a video now of a meteorologist from the best news station in the Chicagoland area, WGN, who's going to show you a clip of her talking about corn sweat on air a decade ago.
Evapotranspiration, corn sweat. These are some terms that you've probably read about, you've probably seen pop up over the last week or so. It's gone somewhat viral. Just to be clear, this is not a new thing. Here's Baby Morgan about a decade ago talking about evapotranspiration, aka corn sweat, on the air 10 years ago. So what is happening exactly? Let's start with the word evapo in that, evapotranspiration. And I think most people know what evaporation is, right? It's a cooling process meteorologically. And essentially what's happening is liquid water, you probably learned about it in the water cycle back in the day. Liquid water takes energy around it, in this case heat. It absorbs that heat, which means it cools down the air around it, which is why it's a cooling process. And then that's transferred into the gas state. Water vapor in this case. So water vapor is then released into the atmosphere. It's how we bring water back into the atmosphere, but it's also how you can increase moisture in the atmosphere. And by increase moisture, I mean like increase humidity. Okay, let's get to the transpiration part of that word, because I think that's the part that nobody really knows what that means. And I think it's important to note that it's not just corn that goes through evapotranspiration. All plants go through this, but you're obviously reading a lot about corn. This is also not a primary source of humidity, right? This kind of changes humidity by a very small fraction. Maybe if you have dews in the upper 70s, it could bump you to 80. It's nothing like the Gulf that's pumping in moisture and bringing us tons of humidity. So grain of salt with some of this. Okay, so evapotranspiration kind of combines evaporation from the earth's soil with transpiration from, in this case, corn. Now, what on earth is transpiration? This is where it starts to get fun. Basically, your corn, any crop, again, but we're talking about corn, sucks up moisture from the soil into its roots, and it stores it in its stems and in its healthy leaves. And then on the underside of the leaves, there's these tiny little holes, and that is where water starts to transpire. Basically, the liquid turns to water vapor, which is the gas form of water, and that's released into the atmosphere. When you're releasing more water vapor into the atmosphere, you're increasing the moisture content, which means you're increasing the dew point, which means it's going to feel muggier. And that, my friends, would be corn sweat.